Hello, this is Michael, atheist and alcoholic. I am attempting 90 AA meetings in 90 days. Nothing discussed in these videos will ever violate the anonymity of AA. So, back to the big book, and I'll pick up where we left off last time. Chapter 4 to Atheists and Agnostics. The author writes, in our personal stories, you will find a wide variation in the way each teller approaches and conceives of the power which is greater than himself. Whether we agree with a particular approach or conception seems to make little difference. Experience has taught us that these are matters about which, for our purpose, we need not be worried. They are questions for each individual to settle for himself. So, no problem there. On one proposition, however, these men and women are strikingly agreed. Every one of them has gained access to and believes in a power greater than himself. This power has in each case accomplished the miraculous, the humanly impossible. As celebrated American statesmen put it, let's look at the record. Here are thousands of men and women, worldly indeed. They flatly declare that since they have come to believe in a power greater than themselves, to take a certain attitude toward that power, and to do certain simple things, there has been a revolutionary change in their way of living and thinking. The author goes on, the several other sentences reiterating that basic concept. He finishes that paragraph saying, they show how change came over them. When many hundreds of people are able to say that the consciousness of the presence of God is today the most important fact of their lives, they present a powerful reason why one should have faith. So, in sum, I really don't have a problem with any of that. Let's look at the record. The stats aren't great, as we've discussed, but I mean, I think thousands is definitely true. It's probably millions now, total, of people who have given themselves over to a higher power, and that has helped them remain sober. Fucking great. That's awesome. In this, what he says in these couple paragraphs, just saying that this has worked for so many people, your life's fucked up, give it a try. Like, what do you have to lose? I can get behind that 100%, and I wish that were the entire chapter. Like, I would have had no issue. Again, my problem is that some of the other arguments made that we're gonna get into tomorrow. He goes on in the next couple paragraphs saying that we used to not believe flight was possible, and then we did it. You don't believe God is possible. I don't know how that follows, but we'll get into that tomorrow. But even that, saying this has worked for a lot of people, what do you have to lose by giving it a try? That's fine. Making arguments that don't follow, it, not the end of the world. Main problem is the foundational assertion in this program that it's the only way to get sober. You find a higher power or you're fucked. That is what I find dangerous. In the 1930s, maybe it was more understandable that somebody would make that assertion, but it's not the 1930s. This book has been revised over and over again. It's a dangerous assertion to make. It can literally end in somebody dying if they accept it and cannot find a higher power. So, been over that before. I'll continue in the big book tomorrow. Tonight was meeting 22, and the topic of discussion was on service, and my share was, if selfish doesn't describe me, maybe malignantly egocentric would work. Selfish actually works. But years and years and years ago, I leaned into that selfishness, and I realized that helping other people feels good. So I like to do it. If for no other reason, then I enjoy it. And I spent a lot of time going to school to enter a profession that involves helping other people. However, every time my sobriety got to a good place where I felt either comfortable, possibly complacent, um, I would stop being involved in recovery in any capacity. I even, at some point for smart recovery, I became a facilitator and I was running meetings. They were very small. A couple times nobody showed up, and that I just kind of pulled out. And it's not that I didn't think that recovery had no benefit. I just got busy and assumed I could get away without it. And maybe that is actually true now because the withdrawal was so fucking bad last time that any thoughts of drinking, even before I started this experiment, I hadn't been involved in recovery in a better part of a year, maybe longer. But no thoughts could gain traction. That doesn't mean it'll always be the case, but as I've talked about in other videos, we've had some pretty terrible things happen over the past couple months that if that didn't result in me using it as an excuse to drink, my probability of relapse is as close to zero as it can ever get. So, but in the past, if I had remained in recovery, even if it was just to help other people with their sobriety, I wonder how many relapses I could have avoided over the past 13 years. Um, so it is my good intention, regardless of what happens with me and AA, if I try NA, it's my good intention to remain involved in recovery in some capacity indefinitely moving forward. So that's all I have for today. Thank you. We'll see you here again tomorrow.